Today, we're going to dive into a true masterclass in manipulation, courtesy of one of Jane Austen's most brilliant and dangerous characters. We're going to break down exactly how Lady Susan Vernon takes a moment of absolute certain defeat and twists it into a stunning victory, using nothing but her words. And let's just start with a quote that perfectly captures her ice-cold philosophy. I mean, this isn't just a witty comeback, this is her mission statement. It shows you she sees emotion not as something to feel, but as a weakness in others that she can exploit. So, here's our roadmap for this whole affair. We'll start with the daughter's plea that kicks everything off. Then we'll analyze Susan's incredible counterattack, figure out why her victim falls for it, and finally, we'll follow her escape to the city. Okay, so our story really explodes when Lady Susan's daughter, Frederica, does something incredibly brave and, well, incredibly risky. She's desperate to get out of a forced marriage to a man she can't stand, so she writes a letter to Reginald de Courcy, basically begging him for help. And this right here gets to the very heart of the conflict. On one side, you have Frederica's simple, blunt, unvarnished truth. And on the other, you get Lady Susan's complex, emotional, and just masterfully crafted lie. It really shows us that in this world, the best storyteller often wins, no matter what the facts actually are. So, how does she do it? Well, her primary weapon is this: equivocation. She doesn't just tell silly little lies. No, she uses this really ambiguous language to mislead you, to hide the truth. For her, it's not just lying, it's an art form, and she is an absolute master. So you can imagine the scene. Reginald confronts her, he's furious, he's got the letter, and he's ready to expose her. This should be the end for her, right? Well, this is where she's forced to unleash her absolute masterpiece of manipulation. She has this flawless four-step strategy. First, bam, she pretends to be a deeply concerned mother who had no idea her daughter was so unhappy. Second, she paints herself as the poor, misunderstood victim of her daughter's shyness. Third, she goes right for his ego, his need to be the big, forgiving man. And finally, and this is the genius part, she reframes the entire story to make him the hero who can save her with his understanding. It's just brilliant. And this is what's so fascinating. Lady Susan has this profound emotional intelligence, but she uses it like a weapon. It's like she doesn't actually feel emotions the way we do. She just observes them in other people, analyzes them, and treats them like buttons on a machine she can press to get whatever she wants. And hey, don't just take my word for it. In a letter to her closest friend, she admits it herself. She finds people with easily worked on feelings agreeable and very convenient. Chilling, right? That is the cold, calculating mind of a true predator. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. Why in the world does Reginald fall for this? How is he so blind? So let's look at the anatomy of his fall. The answer really comes down to what you could call the white knight complex. See, Reginald's vanity is his biggest weakness. He has this deep-seated psychological need to be the hero, to be the rescuer. So when Lady Susan offers him the part of the compassionate, handsome man who can forgive and protect this poor, misunderstood mother, he just can't resist taking the role. Lady Susan expertly targets his three fatal flaws: his credulity, which means he's way too willing to believe things, his impetuosity, so he acts first and thinks later, and most important of all, his vanity, this huge pride in his own judgment that she can flatter again and again and again. And while Reginald is totally caught in her web, you have to remember there's real collateral damage here. His sister, Mrs. Vernon, sees everything with perfect clarity, and she is left completely powerless, just watching in horror as her brother chooses a beautiful lie over the plain, simple truth. So, having completely secured her victory and gotten Reginald back under her thumb, Lady Susan decides it's time for a change of scenery. She's leaving the countryside, and she's headed for the city. First, let's look at what she's running away from. Churchill is a country estate. It's a place of dangerous observation where everybody's in each other's business and secrets are really hard to keep. And her destination? London. The big, bustling, anonymous city, which for her represents something else entirely. This contrast is absolutely everything. For Lady Susan, Churchill represents the danger that the truth might come out. But London? London represents freedom. It's a place full of secrets, full of vice, where she can finally operate without anyone scrutinizing her every move. And the very moment she gets there, her true colors just fly. She immediately picks her affair with the exciting, dangerous Mr. Manwaring right back up. And after that whole performance of virtue for Reginald, she privately dismisses him as insipid. She'll choose vice over virtue every single time.
So this entire episode, this incredible piece of deception, really leaves us with one final, kind of unsettling question. When we're presented with a beautiful, compelling story, does this simple, unadorned truth ever really stand a chance?